with a daily dose of integrity-based human influence. And today is Thankful Thanksgiving Turkey Thursday. So my apologies as we're a little bit behind. Things are moving. We're going to keep this huddle exceptionally short, as today is one of those days where we want to share gratitude to you, gratitude to your families, gratitude to your dreams, your money, your time, your magic, and have you spend it with those around you. Now, I know this year's Thanksgiving is rather interesting and unique with all the different restrictions, rules, and other dynamics that have come and appeared. Regardless, we have each other. We have this family here at Unblinded. We have the ones around us, and we have ourselves. And today on this Thankful Thursday, there's a beautiful opportunity to reflect, connect. And Mr. Callaghan, is that you out there?
It is. Forgive me, guys. I was deep in sending thankful Thanksgiving messages and co-creating acceleration for us here. So good morning to everybody. So Fernando, happy Thanksgiving. Good morning, brother, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you incredible people out there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. We all could have sworn you were beating a chocolate turkey with a mallet, but messages are okay too.
There are traditions, brother, and there's timing and sequence. So it appears as though my amazing niece and nephew will not be here today because of COVID dynamics. So I am left with my beautiful daughters, and I have to convince my 18 or 17 and soon to be 19-year-old daughters that they are standing as the last bastions of having to smash the chocolate turkey with wooden spoons and mallets, which we'll be videotaping for the rest of the family. So as I said previously in several settings, that will be one of my great hello to yes feats of all time, is convincing Courtney and Emma to break apart the chocolate turkey at their 17 and 19-year-old age categories to carry on this tradition, which I'm sure I'm going to get 95 eye rolls, huffs, and really? Like really? Yes. So it will be an interesting hello to yes Thanksgiving, Fernando. But there is a formula. And there's things that can be put at stake. So we will have some fun with those dynamics for sure.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But I'm sorry. So for everybody out there, I'd love to give people an access point to hop in. If you feel like coming forward and maybe giving a 15, 20-second share of what you're thankful for. And I will start. I am thankful for the impossible place that we have collectively arrived at. I am thankful for the fact that so many people understand that there is a formula, that so many people out there cause positive leadership. And I was clear that so many people wanted to make the world a greater place and still do, but the how do you do it was missing. And we had little pieces of this and little pieces of that. And the way that we are coming together to accelerate that with clarity, I am super thankful for. For those that have never heard me say it, I will say it here today. I've said it from the beginning that I win when I'm sitting in the last row of an upper deck with 80,000 people looking at somebody's, maybe some of you, on stage, teaching, sharing, inspiring, leading. And at that same time, there's thousands of people teaching in one-on-one sessions, in 1 to 5s, 1 to 10s, 1 to 100s, in all sorts of different places, in all sorts of different ways across the globe. And nobody knows who I am, that last row of the upper deck. And I would love to have some of you sitting there in that last row with me as well, as we pass through our journey of having front and center stage to cause inspiration, impact, and have passed that along to others. And that's how I win. We win, because that's never what it's been in the space of personal development. What it's been is one person leadership on stage, one person who has many followers online, and that is the exact opposite of what we're creating here as we partner in cause leadership. And it's for that truth not only being accepted in my own mind and heart, but in Fernando's, in Adam's, and in dozens and dozens of other people that are here causing that right now. And I do name names frequently, but I'd be remiss if I started naming those names because there's way too many to mention. And for that profound and sacred statement, I would be remiss if I started naming all those different people. But I have massive gratitude on this day for the sacrifices that are being made by so many that work directly as team members within Unblinded, as well as partners, participants, you and everybody in our programs, and our friends that are none of those, but are just causing positive things and spreading the messaging of what we're up to and doing. So, and I'm grateful for my family, my children. It is complex. I will not see my son today or my father for the first time on Thanksgiving, I believe, in my life. I have to double check that one. Certainly my son. But I think I've seen my dad every year. It might have been a year in my teenage years when he was in Barbados, way, way back in the day. But I believe I've seen them every single year. So this is going to be a first. It'll also be a first when I have, I think the lowest number I've ever encountered on Thanksgiving in my life and my family has been somewhere around 50, because of this very old tradition that we have in our family. And my grandmother's very large Italian tradition to family. And for me this year, I think the number might be as low as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There might be as few as 6 of us. And that is not for many, that's a normal Thanksgiving. For me, it is remarkably different, and I am grateful for it. So I'll be seeing my mom today, and I couldn't be more grateful for her and all the amazing and insane impact she's had on my life. We speak of many, but without my mom, we're not here. You know, when I first quit my job and started the law firm, I wanted to quit every day. You've heard me say it. My mom joined in somewhere around month 5 in an administrative capacity, you know, sort of quasi-assistant, quasi-do everything in assistant capacity. And she had worked in law previously as that sort of office manager personality, as well as administrative assistant work for many years in New York, back, you know, around the time and after I was born, when she gave up her magical hot dog cart in Jersey City. And so without her, we are not here, because I never would have made it in the building of the law firms without her incredible support, emotionally, practically, you know, doing the things that I didn't want to do, didn't like doing, wasn't good at doing, and she loved. And so it's team love, and I am grateful to still have the privilege of my mom just even being alive on this earth at this point, because I know many of us have lost family members that are dear and precious to us. And for that, my heart goes out. And for everybody who is struggling and may not have anybody to spend today with on Thanksgiving, just overall, plus the complex dynamic of COVID, again, my heart goes out deeply in love. So with that said, Fernando, any folks out there who'd like to join and share what they're thankful for, you know, let's try to keep it between 15 and 30 seconds so we give space for people. And if somebody doesn't feel like doing that, that's fine too. So Fernando, we got any fine folks out there that would like to begin the sharing adventures?
Yeah, I believe so. I do not have optics, but the team does. And I think I heard someone up here. So who is there?
Hello, can you hear me? It's Craig.
Hey, what up, man?
Hey, Craig, what's up, brother?
What's going on? So ending one day with you guys and starting a
I
new
know.
one.
It's impressive.
Sean, thank
Bless
you
you.
so much for the access. I was talking to people and I was sharing with them about last year's Thanksgiving call, the Huddle. It was the longest one at that point in time, with only about 30 to 50 people, which was a lot at that point. And every single person sharing their gratitude, people crying throughout that call. It was over 2 hours. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. And brother, let me just say this. I'm not going anywhere. So I'm leaving this huddle when people are done saying what they're grateful for. So if it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, I'm here.
That's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the presence, for the, like you said, the realization that together we have been and are continuing to grow in the mastery of, and the recognition, the realization of being able to positively affect the rising of people and businesses in the country, worldwide. Millions of people are going to be reaching a higher level of greatness because of what this started as, what this is continuing to be, and what this is growing into. And that's the picture that I have, is watching that happen. And I'm grateful of what it's done for me, for my family, for my business, and for every person here just watching it happen, partly from the outside, partly from the inside. And I thank you all. I really love you all. Thank you so, so much.
I love you too, brother, and thank you. And Date with Destiny is canceled in person. Tony sent the message last night. I would imagine many of you know that already. And I'm still going to Florida. So I'm going to Florida, and we are going to co-create. We are going to set, ground, be ready to go. I have not figured out all optics yet. We're going to honor, obviously, ordinances, rules, structures. I don't even know what those are yet, but I'm definitely going to get a huge house, and we're going to co-create magic in that space. So I just want to throw that out there. I've already communicated about that with Jack, and we have so many wonderful people in Florida in the Unblinded movement and ecosystem. So I just want to put that flag in the ground right now that I think all things happen for a reason. And I was prepared, and Jack and I had spoken about this, of the likelihood of potential cancellation. And so we're gonna co-create. Again, I don't know what that space can look like. I don't know what the rules are about how many people can gather. I certainly don't want to screw this up and cause a problem. But we're heading there, and to the extent whatever the numbers are, we're going to figure out a plan and make things happen. So I know we have that access point in common, Craig, and I'm very thankful to Tony Robbins and the Platinum ecosystem for our initial introduction.
Saying obviously everything echoed here, Sean, and that is definitely in optics for me as well. I'm beyond emotional over this life that has come to me and my family because of the Tony Robbins ecosystem, because of Tony himself, and because of you. And yeah, like I said, I told you this from day one. The moment I met you, I knew that everything that you did, I'm not going anywhere, Sean. I am not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We will see this in the world. Yeah. I love you.
And I never love you too. And Craig, I'll never forget the night that we had the privilege to be sitting in Tony's hot spring in his yard. In the beginning, when it was just like maybe 4 or 5 of us sitting with Tony, and we're having that conversation. That is a magical moment. We've had many magical moments together, Craig, and we joke about some of our other fun meetings. But that night was so special, and I'm so thankful to have shared it with you.
That is received, and Sean, and for everybody here, Sean, you stepped into everything that Tony said. You received what he said, where he started from. You used it as a coaching moment for yourself to learn, and you have stepped in to everything that he said and everything he had become and was becoming when he started off, and you accelerated that 20, 30 years into a few months and have already risen up and above and beyond that level. So I'm done. I'm out. I love you so much.
Love you, brother. Thank you. Yeah. Who we got in Tank? I would love you to share at some point, Tank, as well. Whatever's on your heart, but anybody else want to share out there?
Hi, it's Liba.
Hey, Liba, how are you?
Good. I'm doing amazing. I have so much, just listening to you talk every morning and even now. And I have so much gratitude for you, Sean. And I really have so much gratitude for Craig, because I didn't know him. And I ended up at Unblinded through a random comment on LinkedIn. And I'm forever grateful for all the people that I have met through this community, and really through being introduced to personal growth and development. This is a world that was completely like not in my airspace. And I knew about like toughness, and I knew about pushing yourself. Like I knew about David Goggins 5-6 years ago because he's in the endurance world. But I didn't know anything about personal growth and personal development. And I'm so just like, my heart's racing right now. And I'm just so thankful for all of it. There was a time where the formula really wasn't coming my way, and it was really frustrating for me. And I was like, and you kept saying like, if this isn't for you, just like give up. And I kept saying like, thinking I'm not a quitter. I can't give up. Like, and for a while I didn't call in. I was also busy working. And then I was like, no, there's something here that I know I'm going to understand one day. And I'm just going to keep listening and keep showing up. And eventually like more and more will come to me, and slowly more and more is coming to me. And I'm really grateful for everything that you do. For you're such a selfless person, and how much everyone on the team does for other people. And it's all the little, just the little things that you do that make such a big difference in my life, and I'm able to bring it to other people. And I could talk forever, but I don't want to keep this call forever. And so I just want to say I'm really super thankful for everyone that I've met, and grateful for being here, for showing up, for waking up early. You know, there's so much there. So thank you.
No, thank you. And you are such a beautiful soul. And the journey you've been on has been so impressive from the beginning to now, because you're amazing from the beginning. Everybody's amazing. But it's freeing ourselves in different ways to create those accelerations and awareness. And your growth mindset, your commitment. And I didn't know, Leah, like the level at which you confronted yourself physically and what you do in the world. And that is inspirational at a huge level. So congratulations on, everything that you're doing and how you're freeing more and more of yourself, because the word transformation I step away from. I don't think anybody needs to be transformed. Language means a lot to me. Nobody here needs to be transformed. We were all born with an infinite potential, and we just need to free some friction, master some skills and tools, and we can create anything. We don't need transformation. We're born perfectly imperfect, and we have a mapping and ability to create magic. We have fun, we laugh, we're free, and then we become conditioned out of it. So we just need to free that friction, develop some skills, gain awareness, and we can have the money, the time, and magic. Maybe not every bit of everything. Maybe not everybody becomes a billionaire, right? But we can create freedom for ourselves and cause that in others. So, Leah, thank you so much for jumping in this morning. Hearing your voice was very special. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, Unblinded team. Anybody else out there want to hop in? Chad, let's just unmute the crew if we can, so there's not a friction of unmuting, and we'll just leave it to everybody. If it gets wacky with noise, people can mute themselves. But if anybody wants to jump in, feel free. And there's no need for it, right? So if you want to share gratitude about anything, fantastic. Yeah. So
I'd like to share.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I heard a
I'd like to
female
share.
voice. Yeah. Who's that?
Yeah. Hi, this is Tish in Florida.
Hey, Tish.
And I remember a little over a year ago, I was going to UPW in Miami, and Kelly Hanna said, "You've got to meet Sean Callagy. You've got to meet Sean Callagy, because this man is going places and he's doing something that's amazing." And I remember meeting you. You probably don't remember meeting me, but I'm reminded that life is not about the destination. It's about the journey. And this has been one hell of a journey. And it's brought me full circle into something, thinking beyond my boundaries, and putting me into a position where I think I have a plan for my future to help more people and be of more service to making the change we want to see in this world. So I'm so grateful for this family and for all of you and for you, Sean. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Tish. I am super grateful. And obviously my vision, sometimes it gets confusing, but when we met down in Florida, did we meet in the hallway or did we meet in the room?
No, we met in the back of the room.
In the back of the room. Got it. Amazing. Well, and I'm super thankful for Kelly and everything that she brings. And I'm very thankful for you, Tish, for being here in those kind words. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sean, share if I can.
Yes.
I
heard a male voice and a female voice. Yeah. So who's the male voice?
It's Tony, Sean. How are you?
Tony. What's up, brother? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and to everybody that's on this call. Listen, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for everybody on this call and everybody that I have an opportunity to meet. There's so much to be grateful for. There's so much to look around and appreciate, the fact that, if you can be here on this call, if you're able to connect with this group and to continue to communicate with everybody, we're all blessed so much. And I just want to say I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my chosen family. Those are the people that we get to choose to be in our lives, like you and so many people of Unblinded. So many of you guys have become dear friends of mine over the years, both through many through Tony Robbins, but then coming together again through this community. And I'm just grateful for chosen family, the people that step up when some of our own family back away. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for the voices of reason, voices of change, for the voices of influence, for the voices of hope. For the contribution. We just did a basket brigade last week and this last weekend, and we got to do 120 baskets. So I'm so grateful for the people that came together to do that and to come together to put those together and to deliver. And it was even a couple that came I haven't spoken to in years, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, I'm glad you're here. But there's so much to be grateful for, one of the things I say every day is I'm grateful for another day, another opportunity to live, to love, to be loved, to learn, to grow, to share, and to be the best version of me and to make as much impact as I can on the world. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to do that, the platforms in which to do that. And that's it. Look, I can ramble on, as Liba was saying, I can ramble on for a while, but I don't want to do that. But again, I honor you for bringing all these wonderful people together. And for everyone that's here and for everyone's growth that I've just seen just explode over the last several months. It's been amazing to watch. And I'm just grateful to be part of this community and an opportunity to be here with you guys. So thank you.
And Tony, you have been such a meaningful part of things. I'm so grateful for you. Brother, we got to get you back on to maybe the next week or two if it works for you as role player. And that would be super fun to have some very fun, creative dynamics around some of the innovations. I think we could have a really cool, fun moment around that. And I am very grateful for you. And I am clear that there is much we have done and much more to do together. And I am very grateful for you and love you, brother.
Absolutely. Love you back, brother. And I'm here. I'm willing. I'll make myself available anytime, as you know. Appreciate you.
Let's go. Happy Thanksgiving, Tony. Love you.
Thanks.
Thank you. There was a female voice right around the time of Tony's voice.
Erica.
Yeah. Hi, it's Erica.
Hey, Erica. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. And I want to start by saying I'm so grateful for this community. I'm also grateful that I'm not physically being able to be seen because I'm holding tissues on my eyes because I'm so grateful. And the people that you've connected me and us to, I am beyond grateful for. You brought us, who were in the mastery program in February. That was the last time I was in a large crowd to see Tony, to experience your leadership and your teachings. And I'm grateful for that opportunity. And you introduced me to Roger Sahori. He actually generously paid for my flight. And since then, I've hired Roger as my coach.
Wow.
And I'm grateful that you challenged us to put good news into the media recently. And you said this was on a call. And I'm grateful for that challenge, because from that challenge, in spite of every financial setback I've had, I've given up. I'm willing to give up my real estate wages for anyone who's suffering, has to get their home sold, because I know that I stayed in a unhealthy relationship because I didn't think I could afford to leave. And you challenged us to find good news and create good news. So I'm working on press releases and co-creating this opportunity to serve. And I'm grateful for Peter Swain and the community who encouraged me to do something like this, because it's my commitment from all, from your coaching and this movement, to not just make a difference of a minimum of 1 million homes that have been plagued by domestic violence, but to actually sell those homes. So I could, and yeah, and like sell them and get paid for it. And then I'm grateful that you have me see that it's beautiful to love, but it's also beautiful to earn money, because I'm worth it. And I'm grateful for you teaching me that. And I'm grateful for the trip of a lifetime with my dad. He walked 11 miles in 3 days, Sean, stage 4 cancer.
You're going to make me cry, Erica. That is unbelievable. And I'm so happy that went well. And congratulations. Congratulations.
And from you, Sean, in that, like 55 real estate showings and 30 offers in that weekend with my dad while I was away creating teamwork. and like, I'm just grateful that person. I mean, all of this and so much more. I'm grateful I was at Date with Destiny to see you and hear you and run up to register for platinum, even though it wasn't in my bank account. I was like, I just want to do it.
Amazing.
Going.
And this just pops for me, Eric, and everybody. And everybody's got Tony talks about the 6 human needs, Tony Robbins. And I'm not, that's for everybody to figure their own stuff out. But Tony does say that if your top 2 needs are certainty and significance, you're going to have a lot of pain. And then what I've sort of done a lot of exploring for myself is, what do I think the hierarchy is at a stage where we want to create acceleration? And so these are my suggestions, right? And just analyze them for yourself as we approach Date with Destiny for many of us. Is 1, growth; 2, connection, love; 3, contribution. And we could all play with those, and then 6, significance. I say 4, variety; 5, certainty. And that is not just saying, hey, that's what I'm choosing to do. It's like, I didn't choose that at certain stages of my life, right? Like connection, love, and contribution were 1, 2, and 3 was growth. Actually, growth might have been as low as like 4, probably uncertainty was 3. And that recipe, when you're deciding on a trajectory of acceleration, because if we put connection, love above growth, sometimes our boundaries can get impacted. Agreed. And we don't have the acceleration, right? So integrous growth, connection, love; 3rd, contribution, because, and Tony will say this, like, grow and give, right? So if we don't grow, we don't have the same ability to give. Now, we could always work in a soup kitchen. That's a beautiful thing. And please, let's work in soup kitchens, right? Yes. But, my Uncle Jimmy, a long, long time ago, who was tragically killed in a truck accident on May 22nd of 1998, whose skis are over my head in my library, right at the epicenter of that room. He gave them to me about 5 years before he died, and he really taught me the magic of skiing in a whole different way and new level. And what Michael Jimmy confronted me about in the love at some point when I was giving away, you've heard me share the story, like Christmas in Newark, and I buy tons of toys for kids, and I felt amazing about myself. But in those days, in a lot of ways, it might have been like contribution 1, significance 2 in that moment, in that giving. And what he challenged me to think about is, if you're going to really have impact, then when you go away, it's a beautiful thing to do. But when you go away, those kids are still stuck, and they're waiting for the next person to give them a toy. He goes, isn't it so much more impactful to cause to their leadership and their being able to fish for themselves instead of giving them a fish? And I was so angry when he said it to me, because I felt so good about what I was doing. And I'm like, well, why am I so angry? Like, why do I feel this way? And I'm like, it's just because he doesn't want to like go and do Christmases like that. And it's easy to write a check. And my uncle had become quite successful as a retina surgeon. And I realized very shortly thereafter how much I agreed with him. And so the reason I would rank growth 1 is if we don't grow, we can't contribute nearly as much. Right. And I'm not telling you to do anything, but if you do want to give more, you have to rank growth over contribution. And you have to rank connection and love over contribution, because it is from connection and love that we can scale and add team, right? And we can have the energy and the resonance that we need. So my suggestions, because we can literally condition ourselves into any need hierarchy. We learn that at Date with Destiny. My suggestion, if you want to create acceleration and exponentiality, is growth 1, connection love 2, contribution 3, because that's what allows you to transition out of relationships that are not effectively advancing the mission. And meaning, if I have a teammate at Calgary Law who I love, I'm still going to have to be employed there, right? But I may need to bring in other people to build around them, to grow around them, and not let my love for them limit the acceleration. So I offer that to everybody. And Erica, thank you. Just, you as you shared your beautiful awakenings of selling all those homes and doing those things, it was a great access point for that. Growth 1, connection love 2, contribution 3. And I'm so happy for your time with your dad. And I'm so happy for your continuing confronting of yourself and growing, Erica. So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And I'm just getting started. And I'll see you. I'm just beyond blessed. I don't even feel alone. I'm quarantining for Thanksgiving, and because that's the law, and I feel so connected. So thank you for having this for all those that, and I'm co-creating other things for people who feel that, and I am complete. So.
Well, congratulations on your decision making, and happy Thanksgiving, Erica. Love you.
Thanks. Love you too.
Good morning, Sean.
Yes, who's that?
Hey, Sean. This is Joseph Varghese.
Joseph, how are you, brother? Happy
Fantastic.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, also. And I just want to share my gratitude for this movement. I've been watching on the sidelines for much of this year and participating in different things, including Craig's 10, and engaging with some amazing conversations with people in this community. That's seen me bear a lot of fruit. Being on the sidelines, not being in the program per se, but I've just joined Elite, just so you know. So I'm grateful for this whole. Thank you.
I knew that that was circulating, and I didn't know to say it or not. So yes, Joseph, I am so fired up. I am so grateful and so excited for the journey we're about to begin. So I didn't want to say it. And yes, brother, thank you.
Well, I appreciate everything you're saying. I mean, it resonates on so many levels. And on this journey, I find myself being unblinded even more. Even everything you're just communicating today, just the nature of we're all born with infinite potential in the vision of God's presence. And every day it's just about freeing friction to really embrace that, to really own that. I completely connect with that. And I'm grateful for Tony Robbins' Day with Destiny, 2005 Day with Destiny, having the breakthrough of calling my purpose to inspire leadership and living that every day for the past 15 years. And some days I forget, but I've had the opportunity with frameworks like the Power Team and Success Circles and the Bass Brigade in New York here to be able to practice that. And it's all a practice ground for our greatness. And I'm grateful for your leadership. I'm grateful for this framework. I've been looking for a new framework to tap into that will elevate the things I'm up to as far as in my own growth and my ability to impact others, and to your language, cause leadership too as well. Grateful for my mom. I took her to Mount Sinai Hospital yesterday. She had her 24th year checkup for a heart transplant. Did a heart transplant December 3rd, 1996. And she's 11 years beyond the point that most transplant patients survive. So she's most transplant patients live for 13 years. She's at 24 years now. So I'm grateful for her intentionality. Thank you. I'm grateful for her intentionality on adding value in the world to, and she spends about 3 hours a day reading the Bible. She's very unique. and just I'm just grateful to be her son and to be on this journey. I'm grateful for, also I want to share it too. I was also diagnosed with the same condition she had, cardiomyopathy, back in 1996. Worked with her doctor, her transplant doctor, for 9 years at least, and I released it. I no longer have it. And they were surprised at me when I walked in the hospital yesterday. They're like, "Well, did you get a transplant?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I just don't have it anymore. I've been diagnosed and work with Dr. Gass, and I no longer have this." And what I'm grateful for is compound growth, and I'm present that every day we each have the opportunity of making small investments in our lives, in our body, in our mind, in our leadership, and over time that can compound. And we may not be present to how much it compounds, but when people around us, especially those who may not see us on a regular basis, see us, they can detect, they can see how we've completely shifted based on the nature of those small investments we can make each and every day. And that's very much what I'm grateful for. And certainly your process and Unblinded, this journey, it gives so many people in this community, and 80,000 one day from that stadium you'll be on, the opportunity to have them compounded and to create infinite ripples around the world. So I'm very grateful for you. I'm also grateful for David Gonzalez. That's the conversation point where I first connected with you, and also grateful for Erica Siegel Rose, and also in this call, who's mentioned Unblinded every day in every conversation I've had with her. Grateful for you, Erica, for your inspiration as far as embracing this process. I'm also grateful for Craig and his 10 and all the great people I've met in that community too, including David Harder and Jack Tavares and others I'm partnering with in other ventures. So that's it. That's my extended gratitude. I appreciate you. Have a beautiful, fantastic, amazing Thanksgiving, my friend. And to all of you on this call too, I wish you the best as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Joseph, thank you for your heart, your leadership, and your egolessness. Many times when I've watched this in the Tony world, when people begin to build things, they step into their need to be like guru. And I've seen a lot of folks who have learned so much from Tony Robbins and then felt the need to leave, go off and do something, and then somehow try to make him wrong. Which I think, because there's this scarcity mentality around guru-ness or something. And we're not gurus. As Tony said, I'm not your guru. And what we're here to do is to partner, to cause leadership, to cause acceleration. And I feel that happening between us at this juncture. I'm massively grateful for it. And my desire to replicate that and stand for that is why I endlessly and continuously acknowledge and thank Tony Robbins. Because nothing that is happening in Blinded would have ever happened without him and many others. My high school coaches, my family, and many others that I've all employees, and I've acknowledged that many times. But I will never stop acknowledging that, because I think that is what causes the breakdown, the divisions, the factions and fractioning that lead to the problems we have in our country. And so us coming together and acknowledging all of our unique gifts collectively and being aware that it's not about any one person, because I am wildly fallible and perfectly imperfect, right? And beyond, that there's a formula that keeps that truth and acceleration. So Joseph, thank you for everything. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Thank you. Amen to that. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm grateful for the power teams and all those involved in that movement, and Tony Rodriguez, Bass Brigade, New Jersey, and all those out there just continuing that conversation. It's all a conversation, and it's an opportunity to share and inspire others. And this is all about causing leadership. So thank you for continuing on that path forever, Sean. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Joseph. Thank you.
Hey, Sean, it's Anil here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hello, Anil. What's up, brother?
I'm happy Thanksgiving. I'm so grateful to this man, commonly known as TR. He's changed my life. And there is only one TR, and his name is Tony Rodriguez. He's an incredible soul. And he said these magical words to me once. He said, "Oh, you got to meet Sean Callaghan." I said, "No." He said, "Anil, it's an amazing course." I said, "No." He said, "It's free." I said, "I'm talk to me now. And he said these magical words after that, trust me. And as soon as he said that, I did. You know, there's a listening for you, there's listening for Tony. And what I love is the magical moments I've had with Tony. We've caused chaos across the world. We've had crickets and muffins. We've done silly things in New York City. But it's all about relationships. It's all about magical moments. And I've had many with you, many with many people on this call, and long-term, short-term relationships. I'm so grateful to my family, my friends, and just stuff, little stuff. And I'd like everybody to do one thing for me right now. Look at your hands. Look at them right now. When was the last time you thanked your hands? What have they done for you? Everything. You don't have to go far to be grateful. It's there. It's always there.
Well, thank you for that, Neil.
Hi,
Brother,
Sean.
you are amazing. Love you, Anil. Yes, and who is that?
It's Vivian.
Oh my goodness, Vivian. How could I not know that? That is amazing. So happy Thanksgiving, Vivian.
Happy Thanksgiving. My heart is bursting with excitement to be here this morning and listening to all the beautiful voices and hearts. And oh my God, Joseph Varghese, oh my God, I love your story. That's incredible. I just wanted to say that I am so thrilled to be here, to feel so loved. You have created an environment where we can all play and grow together. And it's just such a beautiful feeling because personally, I have never been part of anything, and it scares the crap out of me to be part of something. And I've never felt any more excited to be here and to be just loved for who I am. So that's what you've brought. You've allowed me to sprinkle who I am with everyone here. And it's because of you seeing us, hearing us, and encouraging us to be ourselves. So I wanted to thank you all for that because it's invaluable and it makes for such a fun way to grow, and growing isn't always fun. So I love you all. Thank you for being in my life.
Vivian, listen, before you jump, love you. Excuse me as I clear my throat. And we all owe such an amazing debt to you. The Real Raw. Without the Real Raw, we're not here. Period. Like, that's an easy factual statement. Without the Real Raw, we are not here. Period. That was in the sequencing of things an indispensable component to how we got here. And without you, there is no Real Raw. And we don't get here. And so for everyone, when you hear the name Vivian Guzman, just understand the contributions and the impact that she has made to your life and the lives you will impact. Because no Vivian, we are not here. So Vivian, I cannot thank you enough. We love you. You are unbelievably amazing. And you have so many beautiful gifts and so many missions and so many things that you're going to create and co-create and with Dishnet and everything else you do. But you may just not have realized that the extent to which you desire to cause impact in the world, you have been flying on a rocket ship of creating that you have created. And you just may not be present to it, what you've actually done. So I love you and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Those are beautiful words, very generous in true Sean Callagy form. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. My heart is super full. Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Ciao.
Yes.
Vivian, Sean, it's Gina. Oh my gosh. I'm Vivian. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Gina.
Happy Thanksgiving, amazing family. Sean, Vivian, thank you for lighting up my morning every day with grace, with integrity, love. I'm just insanely grateful, immensely grateful for the community, for the inclusivity you give us, Sean, for what you've brought. the ability to grow and contribute to the greater good of humanity with you and the formula and this team is exactly what I dreamed about many years ago when I thought, could there ever be a place where people could just come together in love and kindness and be nice? Like everyone, what?
Oh, no, go ahead, Gina. Go.
Yeah. So I'm just, it's like, and make a difference. And everyone wants to make a difference in the world all together in one place and share this kind of love and contribution in it. And thank you, because it's right here. I'm very grateful to you. I'm grateful I walked into the doors of Tony Robbins' rooms, and grateful for the many memories that are to come as a result of being part of this fun and magical, incredible Unblinded family. So thank you.
Well, Gina, I will never forget many things about you, but I will never forget being at the Tony Robbins financial trip at Whistler 2019, and on a mastery call, you coming on and sharing and the impact that your story and your journey had on me that night. I will never forget many, many things, the incredible job that you are stepping into as Real Raw Open coordinator. And I will never forget you spitting blood all over my face in Scottsdale, Arizona, either, as Gina had a nosebleed and we're helping to close her nosebleed, and we just started laughing, and then blood started flying everywhere, and all of the fun and insanity, Gina. So thank you for everything that you do.
I will forever remember leaving that mark on you, Sean.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gina. So happy Thanksgiving. Love you. And by the way, I feel such a kindred connection around New Jersey and our similar, although you are older than me, wink, wink, laugh, laugh, just slightly, high school days and years of sharing the 80s in New Jersey. And while we didn't know each other, I feel like we lived parallel lives, coming from Jersey City, the Jersey Shore, Bruce Springsteen, high school in the 80s in Jersey, and all that it means. So here is to your hiking up your Catholic school skirt into a mini skirt and throwing on those red pumps and a leather jacket and embodying love and amazingness in the world, Gina.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Yes, I fully appreciate that together, that connection. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Gina. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Sean.
Is that the one and only King?
It is indeed. I didn't know if, like, being not part of the Thanksgiving, this is the greatest holiday in the world that the rest of the world doesn't have, by the way. So I'm thankful to America for this holiday, because it's a great holiday. It's the best.
Oh, thank you, brother. And what touches you about Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we all know that you can't be grateful and angry at the same time. So a day dedicated to being grateful is, I think, one of the most needed things for everybody in the world, full stop. Just a reminder to stop and pause and be thankful for everything we have. It's phenomenal. I could talk for an hour probably, as I probably normally do, but I've tried to limit it to only 4 things that I wanted to specifically say. So I'm really thankful, Sean, for your lack of ego in creating leaders, and your ability to not just allow that to happen, but want that to happen, and seeing how everybody steps up in that space is phenomenal. I'm thankful to Tony Robbins for reminding me to actually embrace love, but I'm even more thankful that you gave me a space to do it that felt safe and welcoming to actually caring about other people, and therefore remembering that I actually want to be cared for as well. I'm super grateful to hundreds of people that on this call and not on this call, but specifically I wanted to say I'm really thankful for Michael Smikin putting his foot in my ass yesterday, and reminding me that maybe sleep and family should be part of my mix. And I'm also super thankful finally for Fernando, because he was the one that brought me into this on day one and saw something in me that I maybe didn't see in myself. I still have a bit of a man crush. I still can't work out if I want to be him or be with him, but either way. I'm just, there's so many people behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, around the scenes. You could literally, I think all of us could probably just list 100 names. But as you taught me a long time ago, always credit source. And my source here was Darcy, and then Fernando brought me into this. And I'm so grateful to everybody here. But yeah, Michael for saying, get some goddamn sleep, amongst 100 other amazing things. Fernando. So yeah, that was my short list. So thank you to everybody.
Well, thank you, Peter. And you know what? Somehow, and we're gonna keep going, but I want to drop in on an access point because it feels like it illustrates about 15 different things that you just made me think about when you said egolessness and subjugation. I want to share a story that I have not yet shared in Unblinded, and I want to share it through this prism. When we share stories of things that we've done uniquely or successfully well, the difference between significance, growth, connection, love, contribution, variety, and certainty is microscopic. And it comes down to our intent and the way we hear and receive from other people. Right? The way we hear and receive from other people is also a byproduct of our own hierarchy of our 6 human needs, including where our significance is and our growth mindset is. So when I sit in a room with Tony and I hear him talk about his private jets and feeding millions of lives, or when he says he made $100 million last year and his companies do $6 billion, there is not an ounce of me that feels envy or feels anything but excitement to learn how to do that, like how to grow and how to do that. So it is with that backdrop I share this story. And I want you to think about what each part of this means and how you can see yourself in each moment or not. It's 1987. It is November, and it is Thanksgiving morning. And it will be the last high school football game I ever play in. And to get to that moment, we had been through a lot. My best friend, Roy, had gotten hurt on September 1st of that year in our first pads practice. And he almost died and had to have his spleen taken out in emergency surgery. In October, in the early October, we played Hasbrook Heights in a game that all thought was unwinnable. And we came out of the locker room crying because of the pregame speech that Tom Filatico, who works in and around Unblinded and Callagy Law, had given, along with Coach Woods, who is our 53-year high school wrestling coach that is also an Unblinded Huddle at some point. And we came out, and skipping the details, we won the unwinnable game. But the only reason we won the unwinnable game was because we wanted to give Roy, our brother, and several other players the ability to come back and play in a big game at the end of the season. Because if we didn't win that game, Roy, by the way, had virtually no chance to come back. He had his spleen emergently taken out. This was 1987. Like cut open, stomach, and it was hopefully going to come back, but that was really a pipe dream. What we're also doing, though, was we were contributing to a legacy and being a part of something. We didn't see that game at Hasbrook Heights in October as being about us, or certainly not any one of us individually. We saw ourselves in that night, in that moment, similar to the way we talk about that 80,000 person arena and all the people around the world. We saw that moment as our moment to hold the microphone and the stage. We saw it as in service of something so much larger than ourselves, for a town, the people who had come before us, and everything that Emerson High School football meant. For many, you can't understand what that means. I understand in a sport context, but just think of it in a legacy context, about being part of something larger than yourself. And we had thought about that night. For many of the guys since they were 7 or 8. And for me, since I moved to Emerson when I was 11 and quickly understood the context of Emerson football and the rivalry with the Hasbrook Heights Aviators and what it meant to play at Hasbrook Heights under the lights when they were the only school in Bergen County that had lights at that time. and everybody was there. So we played in front of thousands of people. But not like, wow, look at us, thousands of people. It's like, wow, the pressure, the stress, the feel was a feeling of carrying the mantle for everyone. And knowing the alumni that lined the doors as we walked out of the locker room and saw us crying, well, we carried for them. And we won. Now, fast forward to that day in November on Thanksgiving. So it's Thanksgiving morning, and Roy has come back. Miraculously, he has come back. And we are going to play Park Ridge, another arch rival for the league championship, at home on our field. And so in the game, it's a battle. And quite frankly, we weren't quite playing our best. And it was 0-0 deep into the fourth quarter. And it came down to, we got first down on the 10-yard line. Peter would understand this as a football fan. And a whole bunch of crazy sequences occurred. And with about a little under two minutes and change to go in the game, we had a fourth down and goal from our 20-yard line, which meant that the only thing we could do was score a touchdown on that play. And we didn't kick field goals. We didn't have a field goal kicker. We didn't have Nick Lowry or anybody like that. So we're not kicking a field goal. And so we called a timeout. And in that moment, I knew what was at stake. And what was at stake was the ability to tell this story on this huddle. Like, I didn't know there'd be a huddle, but I knew that moment we would carry forward for the rest of our lives. I just knew. Many of the guys didn't know that. Somehow I had the unique understanding of like thinking of things in and out of context. So I understood. So when the timeout was called, I was the wide receiver, Roy was the quarterback. And the quarterback goes to the sidelines. Anybody else, I went to the sideline. And I went to the sideline not out of any ego or significance. I went to the sideline in growth, connection, love, and contribution. Because I knew 100% every fiber of my being, because of how I conditioned my mind and my heart, and my self-mastery and my skill sets, that I would beat my guy and we would score a touchdown and we would win the game. For the completion of Roy, in his moment, that cost him his entire senior year. He would have been all county that year. He would have been unbelievable. We would have done so many more things if he was there for the entire season. But those things were lost along with his spleen, and this was that moment. It was also that moment for all of us in our team. It was for all the alumni. If there was a lot of alumni at Hasbrook Heights in October, Thanksgiving Day in New Jersey football was everything. It was a rivalry day, and this rivalry day just happened to be where we're playing for the league championship, which was an uncommon occurrence to have both teams, vying for the title on Thanksgiving. So I went over to Coach Woods, and I said, Coach, I swear to God, I will run a post corner. I will beat him in the end zone. And Roy throws it up to me. I swear to God, we will win. I will catch it. He's like, okay, well, I said, Coach, I swear to God, please. I said, okay. So I'm back in the huddle. We redesigned the play. The line was like, what are you talking to, our friends? And because we just made up a play on the spot, which you just don't do in high school football at that level and in that situation. And we called the play. We ran it. Roy threw the ball up. And I caught it. And we won the championship. But much more importantly than winning the championship, we fulfilled everything. We fulfilled the promise, the sacrifices, the moments, the pain. And it often comes down to this question. In that moment, what would you do? When you know you can, not out of significance, not out of a desire for a microphone and a stage, but as a moment to give, to grow, to connect and love, will you do whatever integriously it takes in that moment to fulfill your destiny and the destiny of those around you that you love. Because before I went to that sideline, I was scared. And in my head, I thought, what if coach gets mad at me for coming to the sideline? Because you're not ever supposed to ask for the ball or call for a play. What if, God forbid, something goes wrong and I don't catch the ball? What if I trip? What if I don't get open? And those thoughts all flashed through my nervous system. And everything inside of me said, don't do this. And that was the significance. The significance in me said, don't. You don't need to do this. The risk is too big. Everybody is watching. You're putting your entire athletic career at stake. Your entire relationship with Coach Woods, the team, everyone and everything. But in putting significance sixth, which I didn't even have that language, in that moment I said, but I know that this is the only way this is going to work. It's the only way it can work. And so I will put everything at stake in service and in love for everyone else. And if somehow it doesn't go right, then I'll shoulder that. But if I don't do this, I will wake up every day for the rest of my life knowing I could have changed the outcome, and I didn't, because I was selfish and ego-driven. So when we think about significance and we think about ego, I offer you a reframe. I offer you the possibility that ego and significance is often where you don't step up, where you don't call for the ball, where you don't put everything at stake in a situation when you know you can change the outcome. And that day was 33 years ago. And every Thanksgiving, I think about that moment. And every Thanksgiving, I talk to Roy and he says, thanks for catching it. And I'm like, dude, are you kidding? I had the easy job. You got your spleen taken out and fought to come back, and you did it. You did it. And that's the truth. But he wouldn't have been able to do it unless he co-created that moment and caused significance to disappear and step into the true essence of growth, connection, love, contribution, and uncertainty. So, Peter, thank you for somehow triggering that access point because I wasn't going there today. And thank you for your words. As a football fan, would you be betting on the Jets converting on a 4th and goal from the 20, brother? On your final play. I don't know if we lost Peter in the progression. So, but thank you guys
Yes,
for that.
I believe we lost Peter.
Awesome. All right.
He's muted.
Okay. Would anybody else like to share?
Sorry, Sean, I was muted. I wouldn't bet on the Jets with 1st and 1 at the moment. So thank you for sharing that. It was appreciated a lot. Thank you. And
but does that land though? Does that land though, Peter? The difference of like how we, because that story could be perceived as a story of significance.
100%. And I've never had, I guess differently to some, I've never had a problem to step up and put myself in that position. I think what's so amazing is that you step up and simultaneously offer that position to somebody else. That is what I find. It's so. It literally is. I'm saying like unique in the millions of people I've met. I would say literally unique. I can't remember somebody that says, "Let me have that," only to say, "Here it is," and simultaneously pass it to somebody else. Honestly, I genuinely think that's like one of your superpowers.
Well, thank you, brother. And if we can cause everybody to do the same, to be willing to step up and be willing to pass the microphone, simultaneously, then we've caused what we're trying to cause. So thank you, brother.
It's amazing. Thank you. And thanks to everybody else.
Thank you.
So, an amazing room.
All right. Is anybody else out there to share?
I would like to share.
Oh, Tink.
go ahead.
I heard Tink.
Someone else can go first. I can wait.
No, Tink. This is your space. Let's go, my friend.
Here we go. Happy Thanksgiving, all. I'm so thankful that every day I get to wake up, stand next to you, Sean, and serve this amazing group of heart-centered warriors and champions, that this has become a second family to me. And that, as you were just saying, it's about being part of something much bigger than yourself. And that is what this group is to me. That is what this movement is to me. That is what every single person here is to me. And I couldn't be more thankful that I've been able to be a witness to your life and this journey. And that in doing so, you've strengthened my belief in people, in faith, in justice, and in truth. That I responded to a crazy job ad 3.5 years ago that has been such a magical journey since. I'm thankful for elves, for fairies, for unicorns, for the turtles that I get to feed outside of the office in Paramus. And again, like, I just have to stress that this has become a second family to me. I'm so thankful for every single person here and the wins that you share, and that it drives me forward every single day. So thank you. I love you all.
No, love you too, Tink. And we are not here without you. And nobody be confused. Tink never swam in a race in her life that she didn't medal in. And she was a straight up gangster on all the athletic fields. So this is a very quiet warrior that sits out there, that sometimes when the fun and the magic begin isn't quite as quiet, but inside is the beating heart of a loving warrior at all times. So happy Thanksgiving, Nicole.
Happy Thanksgiving. Pass the stuffing, bitches.
Oh my God. I love you so much.
Never fails.
I
Never
love
fails.
it. Absolutely love it.
Is that the voice of the sales sorceress that is in the house?
It is. I've just been sitting here for the last 45 minutes listening to everyone. And just hearing everyone's gratitude and just like feeling everyone's heart, and it's just I don't even have words. I don't even have words for all the amazing people that are here. And I've never I can't remember the last time I've woken up in a home alone on Thanksgiving and have felt so connected and have felt so not alone in my entire life. And to host this huddle on a Thanksgiving morning where nobody else in the world that I know of would do that, and to just be able to spend my morning listening to so many people's gratitude has been like the most amazing gift in the world. And I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to live this life. I'm also grateful to David Gonzalez that brought me into this movement. And I'm fucking grateful for all the places we're going, bitches. And I just just also I love Nicole, just, how much she loves and gives, and just, Adam and Fernando, and just the culture of givingness that has been created here, of true givingness. And it's so amazing to get to celebrate with this community, with this tribe, with this movement on Thanksgiving. It's so incredibly honoring to actually be able to celebrate a day of Thanksgiving with so many people that have so much gratitude in their hearts. I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for you, Sean, and your text this morning on like, let's go, like, this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. Like, I fucking love that Zeus energy. I love that energy that like you bring out onto the football field. That's like, we're fucking winning this game. I fucking love it so much. It's like the best way to wake up in the morning. And I'm just grateful for my parents, and I'm grateful for God that has brought us all together. And then I get the gift of being here. I don't take for granted for 1 second that I get to be a part of this movement.
Thank you, Bella. And received, and my gratitude for you is immense. And the jump in the deep end and heading to Arizona for 11 days into the unknown in the egoless way with which you showed up in that environment was stunning. Nothing short of stunning. The level of service and contribution to this movement and to your help and support of me was beyond. And I could not be more grateful. And last night, I watched The Karate Kid. And yes, I watched these movies that some may seem like, oh, that's cute. Like, they represent life to me. And what I watched in Mr. Miyagi with Daniel, and just his absolute selfless desire towards his ultimate benefit. And in the moment, this was very funny, in the moment, it was like the 4th day of wax on, wax off, stand the floor, paint the fence, and side to side. And it was like the 4th day Miyagi went fishing. I left a note for Daniel. It's like side to side, now paint the house. And Daniel like rips the message off. He's like, this is BS. Like, throws it on the ground, whatever. It made me think of The Real Raw Open. Like, it made me think in the beginning, they were like, I don't know, like, this is something they want us to do for like them or something. And it made me think of that moment. And I thought of it in such gratitude. And then shortly thereafter that night, when Mr. Miyagi got home, and Daniel was like, did you think I might want to go fishing? Did you think I might want to go fishing with you? Like, this is BS. I'm your slave, man. Right? And then he takes him through, like, what he's learned in 4 days in blocking the punches and blocking kicks. And Daniel's like, holy shit. He's like in shock of the mastery he's acquired in 4 days. And Mr. Miyagi is like, now shut the hell up and come back tomorrow morning, which is not what he said. Right? And I am present too at a whole new level, stepping into my inner Mr. Miyagi and inner Yoda-ness at an even higher level of not giving any space and any concern to the moments when people rip the message down and throw it on the ground out of their own fear and significance. And it's okay. Like, Daniel wasn't like a bad person in that moment. He was just scared and confused. And there's going to be fear and confusion. But for all of us, for you to channel your inner Mr. Miyagi, your inner Yoda, and cause that leadership, it is not about pleasing people. Because Daniel would much rather have been fishing. But Mr. Miyagi knew he had 6 weeks to get him ready for that tournament. And he was all in. And he wasn't there to please Daniel-san in the moment. He was there to cause him to step into his greatness, to free the friction that existed between him and everything he wanted to be as a human being. And that's what we're doing here together. And that's not me to you. It's not me to you. But it's you to everybody you impact. Will you be brave enough and love people enough to show up like Mr. Miyagi, or are you going to show up like somebody who just lets people be less than they can be? And again, there's got to be they made an agreement, a sacred pact. And they said, Mr. Miyagi said to Daniel, this is the sacred pact. I teach, you do. I say, you do, right? And that was the pact. So there was an agreement around it. So this isn't like you trying to change people that you don't make an agreement with. Not change them, but free them and accelerate. But once the agreement's in place, and that's the sacred pact of training, development, acceleration, rising and mastery is in place, will you show up that way in service and in love? Or are you going to want to take them fishing to make them happy? So Bella, I ain't taking you fishing to make you happy.
Oh, I'm clear on that, my friends. I'm clear on that.
Yeah.
And I'm really grateful for the story, the football story that you shared, because that really impacted me as well. Because I had always felt like if I stepped forward, because I know like I can fucking carry a lot. Like there's probably no one that can carry what I can carry, but I've always been afraid out of significance. I thought that was my ego. I thought that was my significance. And so I've held back because I didn't want to be that person of significance. I didn't want to be that person that was like, look at what I can do. And like, when I see people on social media that like post like, look what I did this for my client. Look what I did that for my client. It like makes my skin fucking crawl. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. So I just don't. And so your football story this morning really impacted that. Like, that's actually I had a life-changing moment this morning. Like that was actually not stepping into that is my significance. And that fucking shit just went next door.
Yeah, well, we are ready because we are about to hit an acceleration point. That's crazy. But I just have to drop in on some fun energy on because I want to do that and you bring that out in me. So just for fun, Bella, in light of the fact that there was all kinds of trash talking going on during that game, and I was probably less optimally in my unconditional love of all people at 17, can you imagine as I walked back through, after catching that touchdown pass, I walked back through the Park Ridge Huddle, and you can only imagine the things I said to them as I walked through the huddle, because they had said many things to us during that game. So are you tracking the types of things I probably said to those guys?
I would love to hear
about their mothers and about like what they're going to remember for the rest of their lives. And they came onto our field, like there was deep wounds. They had, our coach, our assistant defensive coordinator, when he was a junior in high school in Emerson, they had lost the Park Ridge and they were spitting on the bus and throwing things at the bus. And so like when we were at halftime, he was like screaming at us, disrupting us, yelling like lunatic, like they spit on our bus, like, and he was going completely crazy, like as we were getting our final moment of energetic transference coming out for the second half. So I was carrying that through the Park Ridge Huddle and for the purpose of legacy and his honor and everything, right? So all that goes on, and I'm saying I don't even like the craziest things like imaginable, right? Now their best player was a guy by the name of Ted Bronstein. And what I didn't know as I was walking through the huddle with Ted is that he, who's also a great baseball player, would end up at Columbia University with me as a teammate. It's my very first day at Columbia in my little pod. You know how when you have like the little, I don't know if any of you guys remember this from a college or ever did it in some other social setting or group setting. So like there's like 10 people, 8 or 10 people in a group, and they'll like you'll each pick out like some M&Ms, and then however many M&Ms you pick out, you got to share a fact out of whatever 1,500 freshmen at Columbia. I am in the same group as Ted Bronstein, who I said things about like his future, his life, him, his mother, like in like screaming, yelling, like absolute insanity. Because he fumbled the ball before that drive. I recovered the fumble. I'm like, you blew this for your team, mother effer. Like, like as I walked through the huddle. And now we're sitting at Columbia holding M&Ms on a sunny day in September, like 10 months later, as like soon to be teammates, and we are classmates at Columbia in this uncomfortableness because we've never spoken about it. And we begin to unpack those moments as we eat our M&Ms together with our like super progressive liberal, like group loving leader who can't even fathom what we're saying about what it transpired. It's like, yeah, man, I like love all people. And Ted's like, yeah, and then Sean said I was a mother effer, whatever, in this little group. So like that happened, and then Ted is a friend, of mine to this day.
Oh my God, that's great. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. And just so you know, in the chat too, like Tony just said for Fun Energy, Tony said, she said, oh, I won't take you swimming, and Tony says, oh, but he'll take you, surfing with sharks.
Yeah, that is, I will, yes, because that was a part of the progression. That was a part of the journey, for sure. So, Bella,
you're great.
You.
That was for you. That was so awesome.
Yeah, and thank you yesterday, Bella, for sharing. Bella's dad, and this was shared in the Real Raw yesterday. I believe you said served both in Vietnam and in Desert Storm. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So, and there was a very powerful moment on the Real Raw with a gentleman that has a one-person performing play on Broadway, and it was a beautiful day. And thank you to all of your families and people in your world who served, and thank you Bella, to your dad for his service to our country, because we are not laughing and saying these things in freedom without these people that are served and people like your father. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, thank you, Bella.
Friend.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you. Love you.
Who
else is out there?
Can you hear me, Sean?
Ooh, I heard a male voice and then a female voice.
Females first.
It's okay. Joe Coburn.
Female voice. Joe,
it's Joe
how are
Coburn.
you?
Great. How are you?
Happy Thanksgiving, Joe.
Happy Thanksgiving. I am just so grateful that despite all the trials that we've all been through in our lives, and especially in this year, that you have given us a space to shift perspective, and that we can God has a plan for all of us. And I held on to this verse for 6 years, that in everything, for those who love and serve him, that there's good in every trial. And that to know that that's out there for every single one of us, and that we can shift to that perspective and learn and grow from everything. And I find gratitude in every single thing that happens. So I just want to say thank you for giving us this space every morning to shift that perspective.
Well, thank you for that, Joe. And by the way, you got some pretty awesome initials, and that is never lost on me, Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for everything that you do, and for just the heart-centeredness that you bring to the space, for your unique perspective, your poise, your professionalism, your love, in the space of some insanity. So thank you for all that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Have a beautiful and happy Thanksgiving. Love you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean, it's Adam.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? So, hearing your football story for sure landed. What I heard it through the prism of, I'm so grateful you caught that pass, because you're doing it again, brother. I heard that story. That story was the story of Unblinded. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be putting 16 hours a day in. All that you do daily, all that you've done to get us to this point, the Real Raw, like you said, wouldn't be here without you and without all you do. So I first just want to thank you for everything that you do for all of us every single day.
Received, and I want to let you keep going, but can I just say this, Adam, real quick? Is, brother,
yeah,
I have always had this desire inside of me, and I've never stopped. But I've permanently, but I stopped and started in a lot of different ways, because there was the absence of the aligned team. And I mean, I've had amazing teams. It's been incredible, but the aligned team to do this, and what Fernando and you have done is unbelievable. And every time I feel exhausted, my head hurts, my body hurts, I feel like quitting, I just think of you. And I say all the time that you set the standard and the pace of self-mastery. You do. And you are the greatest example of self-mastery that I have ever witnessed, personally, directly in my life. And you inspire me, and the proximity that I have the blessing and privilege to have to you causes my self-mastery to rise. So please understand that is with all my heart the truth. And back to you, brother.
Well, I'm smiling, I'm tearing up, and I'm also thinking about my mom calling me a crazy lunatic for the way that I work. But to hear that makes it all worthwhile every second. But even what really makes that worthwhile was a conversation that we had last night. Fernando and myself were speaking to two people who were, going all in with the Unblinded elite coaching program, and both of them said separately, do you guys realize, you two, the impact you're having on our lives, and not just our lives, the lives of our family, not just the lives of our family, the lives of our children, not just the lives of our children, but the lives of our friends' children. And when they both said that in a little bit of a different way, I just had this immense amount of love and just gratefulness for everything that I have done in my life, and everything that I'd failed at, and every time I was overlooked for something. Because when we talk to people about this formula and really integrity-based human influence and what you've discovered, Sean, we always talk about the power of influence, and how going from hello to yes can change lives and save lives. And I talk about that to people who are doing things in the world, that us providing them that formula is going to have that cascading effect and that impact over people. And last night we heard it, and we heard it directly from people that we love and we care about, that are changing the world. And it was like the pinnacle moment of everything leading up to this point. So I'm just grateful for the movement, for all of those who are, in support of and amplifying the message, and just, of course, my mom for being there when I've been knocked down so many times in my life. And I'm just so grateful for Fernando and you, Sean, and everybody, Tink, and I could go on and on and on, Chaz, and the list we know where we could go there. I don't want to forget anyone, but it's just, there's nowhere in the world I'd rather be than right here with this group, with this family, and it's really happening. And I feel blessed and honored to be in this position, and I'm not going to let anybody down.
Brother, I cannot be more thankful. And in my endless movie references, I think of, in that moment, you as Harry Stamper in Armageddon, the Bruce Willis character. And when the Ben Affleck character says, they're like, "Will we do it? Will we do it?" And Ben Affleck goes, "Harry doesn't know how to fail. He'll do it." And Adam Gugino, you do not know how to fail. And there is no failure, but you do not know how to not succeed. And I am not confused, brother. And I believe God makes all things work together for good. And I don't even profess to remotely understand how all that works. But I'll just tell myself this story. The story I tell myself is the reason that you have so perpetually been overlooked and screwed over in your life is because this was supposed to happen. And it never would have happened if those things didn't happen. And that's the story I choose to tell myself, in massive gratitude to God. So thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Sean.
All right. Any finals out there before I kick it to Fernando?
Sean, it's Lorelai.
Lorelai.
Hi.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. So I love that you're doing this, and I'd like to share my personal gratitude for things in my life, such as my children, Kyle and Sage, who are doing amazing. They're in college. Just grateful as I'm grateful for my health and their health, and a lot of what comes up for me is being so grateful for all of the hard lessons, because it's given me the ability to become so self-reflective and just have that self-reflection where I can pivot so quickly, and making mistakes and is where the growth comes in. So as long as, I'm making those mistakes with self-awareness and ability to pivot. So that's what I'm grateful for as well. And I'm so grateful for being in this movement, being on the team. Everyone's amazing, and so grateful for you in terms of, I could cry right now, actually. Just for always believing in me, never doubting me, and for me to be able to come to you with things that are, that I can just open up and share. And by doing that, I grow, and I never feel any judgment. So I'm super grateful for that.
Well, thank you, Lorelai. And I love you. My voice is going. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. And I am so clear on your heart and your integrity and your desire for growth, connection, love, and contribution. And I would mirror some of the things I said about Adam, Lorelai, in that I think a lot of the things that you haven't been appreciated and seen for who and what you are, but you are now. And you are amazing. And you are growth-minded. And we are not here without you also. And the contributions that you create. And it's amazing. And so if you still want to head to Florida and do all the things and build and grow and all the stuff we're going to do at DWD, it's all good. And this happened for a reason. And, we're going to make incredible things happen. And so I would have been ordinarily very, very disappointed. And I'm not, because I know that that's what was supposed to happen. So we're going to make incredible things happen, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Awesome. So, thank you, Lorelai. Anybody else out there have a share before we go to final Fernando?
Morning, Sean. This is Ruth.
Hey, Ruth. Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So I've been brought to tears this morning and many times being on Unblinded calls and Tuesday, Thursday nights, just throughout my time with the team, the movement, the family. And I am so grateful for your leadership and heart and love and accountability from love and the team's accountability. And one thing I just want to share is this is the first time in my life that I'm all in. I've noticed in my life that I've always left the back door open, and there's no back door. And I just want to thank you for that, and just moving forward, busting out. So I just feel the vision I have is in keeping with your superhero, but that Superman's logo, but just the sun rays shining out and going forward and not backward. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I've met some astounding people, and every single person in their leadership, and even when we falter, we're able to step back in and pick back up. And, I can enter a call funky as much as, I found myself skipping down my hallway in my office trying to shift my freaking energy the other day. And I'm like, okay, go back out there. You're not done yet. And I come back in, and the call shifted me more than I even could have, or not could have, but had the time to do. And it was just I'm so grateful. That's, Thanksgiving to me. So in the movement, thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. I love you. I am grateful for you. We are grateful for you. And it is so normal. Yesterday, I felt so sick. I went and had some treatment, and it shook my body. And I think it's good for me in the long run, but in the short run, oh my God. My head, I felt like I was going to throw up all day. My head was killing me. Like, I just felt so horrific every minute of yesterday. From the minute I opened my eyes till I closed my eyes last night. And all day, I'm like, it's become so commonplace. It's like the 6-year-old self is like, why am I doing this? I'm going to temperature. I want to quit. And like, now I can just so disconnect and observe that, and like hug that 6-year-old self and be like, it's okay. It's okay. And it is normal, everybody. It is normal to want to quit. It is normal. And I'm going to lean into this a lot more as we go forward. David Goggins says that it's really easy to plan the dream under the covers with your journal by the fireplace. It is very different when you're getting hit in the head with an 8-foot wave and wind. It's very different when people are screaming at you or just not showing up on your Aurora Open, or when you're like at the Hillary step on Everest, ready to cross the bridge, and like no people die there. And the wind is blowing 80 miles an hour, and it's snowing like hell. And some people even do it literally blind, like without sight. It's a whole lot different in those moments than it is under the couch, on the couch, under the covers by the fire. And for all of us to realize that in those moments, our nervous system will lie to us, and everything that we want is on the other side of those moments we want to quit. And remembering, of course, that there are micro distinctions when it's time to shift, and innovate a bit. But horizontal innovation, quitting, switching, is an absolute last resort. And there is never a time to quit on the formula, because the formula applies whether you want it to or not. So there's never a time to quit. So Ruth, love you and happy Thanksgiving.
I love you too. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Any other finals? Once, twice. Fernando, brother, final on this Thanksgiving. I love you. I am so grateful for you. You stand You stand as the greatest example of ego subjugation I've ever seen. You stand as the greatest example of ego subjugation I have ever seen. And your selfless commitment to myopically focus when it was not your conditioning coming in has been mind-numbing. Every single person can learn from Fernando Valencia what it is like to be a teammate, what it is like to rise in your mastery, and what it is like to endlessly subjugate your ego. So, Fernando, brother, I love you, and happy Thanksgiving, and final.
Well, as Ruth said, you have quite a way to shift in energy. As I feel the tears accumulating, I realize that what I've always wanted to hear is someone say I was a teammate, and I didn't even know that. And it resonates through every single fiber of my being, because that is what I love. That is what I enjoy. I enjoy being one with the people and growing together. And there's so much that was said here in the chat and in this beautiful conversation today. And Ruth, I love how you encapsulated, you created language for, there was always a back door, and there's no back door here. Ain't that the damn truth? And that's, yeah, that's exactly what I felt when I just at 1% level understood what was here. I knew this was it. And now let's talk about Sean's leadership for a second. I woke up this morning, had a beautiful morning, spent some time with Martha, my lovely girlfriend, and I swore that there was no huddle. And I get a text from Chaz going, "Hey, who's running the huddle?" And I said, "I guess I am." So we jumped on the huddle. And whoever's been here from the beginning, I'm sorry for lacking integrity in saying that this was going to be an exceptionally short huddle. Because my goal my goal was to stay under 15 minutes and, give everyone time to go to Thanksgiving. And wow, wasn't my ego at play with that beautiful story that Sean shared of what ego subjugation really looks like. And what a beautiful reframing that was. Because if there's an example of Sean's leadership, welcome to it. Because if there's one thing, and there's many things I've had the pleasure to experience from modeling Sean, the formula, Adam, and so many other beautiful leaders here, is that leadership is about being present and standing for what is emotionally present and moving through and speaking into what is there all the time, actively, 100%, no matter what. And that's Mr. Callaghan. All day, every day, twice on Thanksgiving in the morning. And that is literally what it looks like. So, Sean, thank you for seeing, hearing, and knowing who I am and allowing me to perfectly, imperfectly show up and be committed to the grace that is this gift of life and with other people. And I am grateful for the attraction of this team, this tribe, this family, whatever language we want to put in there. Listen, I just like you guys. You're cool. I have fun. You bring me great energy. You shift my heart. And I'm eternally grateful. And I'm committed to doing it relentlessly every day with all of you. Back to you, Sean.
Real quick,
Thank you,
Fernando,
Please
I've had hundreds, thousands of teammates over the years, from the club days to ADP to obviously thousands at Momentum Solar, and my brother. Wow, when you talk about teammates, Chaz, don't feel bad on this one. You're right there in the top three as well. But and Sean, you too. But Fernando, my friend, in the trenches, unbelievable teammate. I mean, the amount of times you picked me up off the ground, the amount of times that I learned from you, it's countless. And I know I wouldn't be here right now where I am in this position with this movement if not for you, my brother. So I thank you for all you do every day. And you're the shortstop. I don't know where you, Sean, are you the center fielder?
Yeah, I would go with center fielder.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, you're the shortstop. I always play third. I'm a third baseman. I just hold it down on the line.
I love Frando's shortstopness. I agree with
Yes,
that. And
I agree.
And
So
by the way,
just
Frando.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm good.
Yeah, just from fun energy. First, Adam, thank you. And I was receiving that in my heart. And then you lost me because I have no idea what compliment you just gave me and calling me a shortstop. Thank you. But I'm like, okay, listen, I know it's between third and second. I'm going to catch the ball. And if that's what that means, I'm in. But I have no idea what that means. So, Sean, please.
Maybe we should rethink. Sean, maybe we should rethink that position.
Yes. No, that is the leader, the defensive leader of the team is the shortstop. Yeah. That is the most important defensive player, most skilled, most important, most valuable. That's what Derek Jeter was in the Yankees.
Wow. Big words, big shoes. And I wouldn't be able to do it if I wasn't standing on the shoulders of, two giants. So
well, thank
I'm
you,
wearing the hat.
And I shared two final quick things on that point. Number one, Fernando, I am thankful that I believe people finally see you. Like, I believe people finally see you. And I thank you for entrusting me with the important reframing of those dynamics. And we will continue in that. But I think we've reached a new base camp where people know who and what you are. The people here know who you are. And at one point, they did not. And I was committed to that outcome. And brother, I think we've arrived. And now just amplifying that and making sure it's known at larger and larger levels, just like for all the people here, that everybody here in this call, your leadership is known. Receive, brother?
More than received. Thank you for committing. And I did trust and I do trust. And thank you for the influence that it took for that to happen.
Sean, you did. Sean, every step of the way, Sean. Every step of the way, you taught me that as well, because your challenges, your direction and guidance for that to happen. I mean, you saw it once again. You allowed even me to say so many times, just to trust that the way in which we needed to show up in order for Fernando to have the impact that he's having right now, and for your again leadership there, I have to say, has been the largest part of how I believe Fernando is being seen, and him being seen this way now is changing lives and even saving lives time and time again. So
yeah. Brother, Fernando, you are now a true influencer. You can tell all of your beautiful friends from the influencer space that they can follow you to become a true influencer. And that's the truth. Number one. Number two, this is what it looks like. It's imperfect. It's a process. But Michael Smythe, the reason I was a bit tardy this morning, because I was again overstaying some things, and I had a beautiful long conversation with Michael Smythe in which Fernando and Adam, but especially you, Fernando, Michael was reflecting upon your freeing of your greatness and conversations. The two of you had a Date with Destiny 2019, and it was a beautiful long. Michael and I were on the phone for over an hour this morning. It was a beautiful morning, and then there was other texting and gratitude, and I was dropping into Zeus Energy Acceleration with Bella, and I was like, "Oh my God, what time is it?" Because I've been doing that. Michael and I got on the phone about 6:30 this morning. So as is the norm, a bit of time tracking was lost in the present moment of acceleration for this movement, and for all of us today, take a breath. Let's just truly be grateful for every blessing, including for you, your beating heart, your beingness, your love. And we cannot love others unless we love ourselves. So my wish for you today is certainly unconditional love with boundaries for all people, but unconditional love sitting for you with you. Just gratitude for you. I am grateful for you. We are grateful for you. You are created perfectly and perfectly, and everything you want is there, but not for today. For today, just sit and love yourself and give love. So have a beautiful day.